Technology permeates our daily lives. It is always important to think about what technology should do instead of what it can do. I'm Richard Koh, and welcome to our Tech 101 with our technology strategist. Welcome to today's series of Tech 101 with our technology strategists. Now, as you know, partners is the lifeblood of Microsoft business. And it's very important that we ship the kind of tools that help our partners to build services on top of our technology. So here today, we're going to have a very different spin. We're going to talk about some of the tooling that we share with our partners so that they can build interesting and exciting services on top of our platforms. Today, my guest is Steve Chow. He's a partner technology strategist, and he's going to be talking about Azure Active Directory B2C, which is a very interesting identity platform that helps our partners build interesting services on top of our platform. So welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks, Richard. So today I'm going to talk about how partners are going to implement the authorization and authentication leveraging Microsoft platform. And mainly it's about Azure AD B2C.
Very cool. And when partners think about platforms like this, what is it that they are trying to achieve?
So in most of the scenario that partner, they're building all their SaaS product, like for example, the partner will have their own website or maybe their own portal. Those portal might be accepting all the external guests or external users. So those external users that might be using Facebook or maybe Microsoft login or maybe Google login. So in order to actually integrate with all the different social identity providers, actually it's quite cumbersome for them to actually develop different kind of code or maybe implementation. So with Azure AD B2C, it's actually save a lot of times for the partners to actually integrate with our platform. So other than that, the other advantage for using our AD B2C is that for all the partners that have multiple applications, like for example, recently, I did work with one of the partners in the industry. He actually developed a super app that comprised of multiple sub-applications. So when the user log into the main screen, it prompts the login again to the sub-application. So it's actually kind of like not seamless in terms of user experience. Right. So with Azure AD B2C, you can actually integrate into one single platform and all your application can navigate from main screen to your sub-application easily.
Okay, so that provides a very seamless user experience and the partner themselves don't have to spend too much time on needless integration because we have made it a lot simpler with our Azure AD B2C.
Yes.
So I heard that today you have prepared a demo for us to show us Azure Active Directory B2C. So why don't we go ahead and dive into the demo?
Sure, let's do that.
Hello guys. Let me quickly go into Azure AD B2C portal and show you how easy to integrate with another social identity providers, create a new user flows, and register application. So this is my Azure AD B2C portal. You can click on Identity Providers on the left panel and click on the identity providers that you would like to integrate. In this case, I will choose Google. Fill in the information like the name, client ID, and client secret. Then click on Save. Next, let me show you how to create a new user flows. Click on User Flows, select New User Flows, select Sign Up and Sign In, select Recommended Version and Create. Fill in the name, and then you can select local accounts and others social identity providers, and in this case I have configured Google. Next, you can opt in for MFA, which is multi-factor authentication, and conditional access. You can select your user attributes and token claims, then select Create. Now you have the new user flows, and let's quickly test the new user flows. Click on Run User Flows and click on this Run User Flows. So this is your new sign in and sign up flows. Let's go back to Azure AD B2C portal. Back to Azure AD B2C portal, you can select App Registration in order to grant the application to access this Azure AD B2C with your new user flows. Click on New Registration, fill in all the name, like for example web portals, then your redirect URI, like for example in this case web, or maybe single page application. So in your test environment, you can always put in HTTP localhost, then register, and then your application will be able to actually call this Azure AD B2C. So let me show you in a quick GitHub code that you can actually leverage on to actually acquire the user token. So you can just use MSAL from your single page application. Now you are done. So you can use Azure AD B2C. Thank you.
So Steve, thanks for telling us about Azure Active Directory B2C. You mentioned a little bit about security. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so one of the great advantage about Azure AD B2C is the security features of the authentication and authorization. So because most of the cases that partners have their own public facing website or maybe their portals facing all the internet, which they are not aware of the risk about their logins, or maybe multiple attacks, like for example, brute force password attempts. So with Azure AD B2C, right, Microsoft actually implemented the AI algorithms to detect those brute force attacks or brute force password guessing from maybe multiple IP or maybe multiple sign-in that trying to attack your website or maybe your application. So AD-B2C did provide you those, like for example, the user activities or maybe the audit reports, like where is the user is actually signing in, and it prevents all the security breach for your application.
I see. So it helps the partner who is trying to make sure that their external facing services are well protected from some of these brute force attempts.
Correct. You're right.
Very cool. So Steve, tell me a little bit more about how, let's say, a partner will look on the platform itself, Azure AD B2C itself. What will they see when they see some of these security attempts?
So it's actually straightforward and quite easy. Actually, user can actually log into Azure AD B2C portal. They can view all the activities from the user login or maybe the audit report from the Azure AD B2C portals.
Okay, so it's pretty straightforward.
Yes.
They are able to receive alerts as well?
Yes, you are right.
Okay, that's very cool. So folks, you heard it there from Steve. And Steve, where can they go to if they want to find out more information about Azure AD B2C?
We love to actually get all the feedback. And if you would like to know where you can actually configure all the Azure AD B2C, you can actually click the link below. Yeah.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So thank you, Steve. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Richard.
And folks, there you have it. So Azure Active Directory B2C, it helps our partners to create interesting services, integrating with all the identity providers out there, and also creating the kind of a secure environment for logins when their consumers, their customers are logging into their services. So this has been a very, very interesting aspect of how we are also empowering our partners to be able to do more with our tools and platform. So thank you again for watching Tech 101 with our technology strategists. Stay tuned for the next one.